Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new episode of Rants with Dez. Happy Thursday through Wednesday evening, night, morning, and afternoon. We were supposed to have a full panel, but it turns out it's just myself. Mr. Rogers, how's it going there, sir?
We're doing all well, Dez.
And Eddie, the editor, which is just checking, making sure everything is working real nice. We got to make sure everything is working real nice. It did great. We have a good one for you. It's probably not going to be as long, but we're going to have fun doing it, though. I don't say it, quite frankly. People tell me. Hopefully you guys had a great week off without us being here. When we don't have those, I usually try to do at least one shorts. So, Mr. Rogers, do you have some fun facts for us tonight?
I may have some fun facts for you, Des.
Excellent.
So, let's check her out here. All right, Earth's rotation, right? Rotating around the sun, the moon rotates, basically with us, and hopefully, we're all good and go, right?
Yep.
So, did you know the Earth's rotation is actually slowing down?
How is that happening?
You're adding more weight to the world.
Oh, my bad. I just took an excuse earlier.
We're losing 1.8 seconds over 100 years.
How much?
Per day.
How much?
1.8 seconds.
How are we adding more weight to the world?
Welcome to Stardust, my friend.
You're talking about like
have 7 billion on it when it started.
It had the material to make 7 billion people.
It had material, yes.
Because we all come from
Stardust, correct? Which came from out of here.
Well,
we're all part of.
The only way weight gets added is by stuff coming from outside the atmosphere in.
And we're also, the weirdest part is you think we'll be going closer to the sun, right? Which would spin us faster.
We're moving away from the sun.
Correct.
Just like the moon is actually moving away from us.
Slowing, but they think the core is also slowing. May have stopped.
So the core is going faster.
No, it's slowed down. They think it might have stopped.
It does pneumatic turns, yes, but it's actually overall speed. In theory, since the Earth has been born, it's actually been faster. Not by much. It has gone faster overall.
Yeah, but it does back and forth.
It goes in cycles then, or how does that work?
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't study geology. I study geography going, hey, that looks a cool place to go. Let's go.
Outstanding.
Do you know why chainsaws were invented?
Yes, I do.
And he's so excited right now. He is so excited.
What do you got?
Well, they were originally invented to do what they do with a scalpel now. It was to cut the vaginal opening to make room for the baby. But yeah, so that the original design, it wasn't motorized though. It was a hand crank. They added a motor later.
How big was this thing?
Much smaller than a chainsaw to take down an oak tree. For sure.
I was gonna say
with a little handheld, just.
They weren't cutting women in half to get the babies out. They were just making
it wasn't like that. No, it was just to help them relieve the pressure and things like that.
Oh man, because when you said that,
was invented.
I just had to make sure that they were not the same size that they are now, because that would have been fudged up.
And they didn't have motors.
Yeah.
They didn't have a two-stroke in there. They weren't in there firing that thing.
Ay.
You okay?
No, mate. No wonder all those old babies are so traumatized.
It looks like he's gonna
boomers.
It looks like he's gonna walk it off.
Not without a head. All right. Eiffel Tower. Who doesn't love Paris?
Well,
I don't. The Eiffel Tower raises 15 centimeters every now and then.
Because of the
You know
Earth?
why?
The Earth is breathing?
It's when the heat hits it. It's only in summer months. It raises it up because the heat condenses.
That's fun fact too, actually. Son of a nutcracker.
That's not a bad fact, dude. Dude, this one I made especially for you dads.
Oh boy.
And Eddie the editor. And everybody else here. Alexa, I don't know if I can say this. Aladoxphobia. The fear of others' opinions. And yeah, fear of others' opinions.
Oh, that we just call them Democrats.
The fear of others' opinions.
Yeah.
But the people are fear of our opinions. Laxtophobia or some crap like that.
Sounds like a spider phobia.
Whoever told me I was a vernaculus, so.
Sounds like a name somebody came up with for stupid stuff that people do.
Why do they?
Was axia.
And why do they got to be so big too? Big long words.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you're just fucking an idiot.
Do you remember what they used to call? George Carlin did a whole bit on this, by the way.
Hey!
Why they make things longer and more complicated? Because back in the day, post-traumatic stress disorder was called shell shock.
Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a nutcracker.
All right, I had to yell at an angry girl looking for my food.
Hey, Corn Bob. My eyes feel good and my forehead feels even better.
Here's a weird one for you. Australia is wider than the moon.
Wider than the moon.
If you put Australia on the moon, wouldn't fit.
Oh, bloody hell.
I mean, just think like
if the moon was flat, you mean?
Physically here. If you were like you had a post-it the thing and you had a round circle and you put it on there, Australia's bigger. That makes sense?
Oh yeah.
For all you people that love gravitational pulls and seismic gravity and how the Earth turns and put a continent on something that's spatial, that's for that. But I'm just saying, Australia, with the moon, when you look at it, Australia is bigger.
It's huge. Huge. I would never say it, quite frankly. People tell me.
And the last thing I got. Anybody here Polish?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Not melty.
What?
Not my job, not my monkeys.
What? Say that again?
Nick Nat. Yep. Nick Match. Yep. Not my job, not my monkeys.
That's Polish.
Yeah, I said Polish.
That sounds like some one of them clicking type languages, like you're like or however it goes. I don't know.
These are Star Wars.
Easy Star Wars.
I will give you guys one cool thing.
All right, sweet.
I have to show you guys something. Is that okay, Des?
Go for it.
All right. For this, I will show you something my friend brought back from me. This is American flag
Nice.
from Afghanistan that we flew.
Nice. Dang right, brother. That's awesome.
My friend came to visit me, and he made sure it's torn down from there and brought it back. The thing is torn. It has to be burned. I'll never hang it again. But I want to keep it as a memento, but I will burn it with the friends I had over there.
That's awesome, though. It's like...
So that, I'm done with fun facts.
All right, fun facts, everybody, by Mr. Rogers. Woo! How's it going, Kaserve? Is he here yet?
I don't know. He's here.
He joined.
Be with us.
Yeah. So,
anyways,
we're gonna do the educational one a little bit later. We'll do the John Cena one right now because Kaserve knows a little bit more about the education thing. First and foremost, to prove that I am a huge John Cena fan and used to be a huge wrestling fan, Got the belt right here. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There we go. Now I can put this down. It's actually like 7.5 pounds. So I've been holding on to it since we got started. Before getting started, actually, it's pretty sweet. It's no big deal. Anyway, getting back to the whole John Cena thing. I know basically everybody, unless you're actually under a rock, know that John Cena went heel at the Elimination Chamber. It was actually a long time in the coming. The way it sounds, John Cena wanted to go heel a while ago, but they wouldn't allow him. But being it's his last year, they said it was probably as good a time as any. I kind of suck at this, but my opinion on the John Cena going heel, I think, is awesome. He's going after the fans because the fans for 20-some years, hey, Eddie, for 20-some years, the fans would say Cena sucks. So now Cena can actually say, you guys get nothing. and he went even after the kids that were going, Cena, we love you. He's going after the kids that they're just as bad as the people that said that he sucked. Go Cena.
He was on Daddy's Home #2, bro. He was Nice Road Truckers as an alternate. Well, don't mess with the John Cena.
What bugged me though, I hope this is true. John Cena turned heel when The Rock did this at Elimination Chamber. I hope The Rock is done. So now Cena's all by himself because that's the only reason why he turned heel. Hey, John Cena, if that's the case, you dumb son of a bitch, you turned evil because The Rock was there and now your daddy's not home. What are you going to do? Cena. I think it's awesome. I really hope The Rock does not actually show up at WrestleMania and John Cena's got to do this all by himself, being the little bitch that he actually is. That's basically my take because I enjoyed watching wrestling. I watched wrestling when it was on Monday nights for the 2 hours. When they went to 3 hours, I watched it for a bit. But the 3 hours is way too dang long. It's your whole evening. You get home, you eat supper, you take a shit shower, and it's wrestling time already. It's like bloody hell. And after wrestling, it's time for bed. Yes, I am an old person. Even though I go to sleep around midnight now. But back then, that was when I was still back at school, So,
I'm an old person right now, jeepers.
What time do you go to bed?
Depends on the day. Tonight be a little later. Depends if I got that, people overseas. Usually around 11 before that, to be honest, because I'm usually up at 5 a.m.
You guys
technically 4, so I'm at the gym at 5.
Well, Eddie, what time do you go to bed?
Between 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Thursday nights is
Thursday night is by far one of the latest nights I stay up, and I usually get to bed by 10:30. 10:30.
And you guys, what time is it there? It's 7:50?
It's 7:49 here. Yeah, that's funny. This is his late night.
I'm rocking 7:49 or 6:49 over here.
Oh, that is too funny. Yeah, by the time he's like,
time for a hot tub, a sauna.
By the time Eddie leaves here, he's like, Daz, I love to stay in chat, but the bed is calling my name.
It is. I usually call my name before I leave.
Do a hot tub and a sauna, bro.
It's fantastic. I can't believe you're not even that much older than I am. You're maybe. Let me guess. I would say you're 5 years older.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
I'm not even that.
So you're 44. You're not even that old. And Eddie the editor's 44, and he goes to sleep.
Oh shit! I'm the youngest person here.
Yeah.
I look the oldest.
Nah.
No. No, you don't.
Dude, the war did some stuff on me, man. Just trying to keep her together here.
It's one of those things where, quite frankly, by the way, I've had a few of these bubblers.
Thank the Lord, not the effing. Mr. Rogers got a line, folks. Sorry.
Hey, Hangman, in the future, I would actually love to get you on here, brother. It would be actually one of the good ones for maybe next week. We'll figure to get you on here. So I don't know if we can anymore, being that we're live, but get a hold of me, and you're gonna have to give me your information. So Eddie, the editor, will have to. Hey, Eddie, do you want to? Are you gonna type some stuff down for that way we know what we got to do? Because that would be awesome to get you on here, Hangman. It'd be one of the things where.
My apologies, Erendez. Some service animals decide that, raw meat is delicious.
Oh, man. So, how's it going there, Serb? Hey, Serb, are you on right now? Because we could, with the whole Cena thing, I think it's hilarious that he turned, just to recap. And I hope he kicks Cody's ass. In fact, because I like Cody, but if you would actually take tail and run with the belt, I think it'd be actually hilarious. Because what he did for WWE back in the day and how the fans treat him, it is what it is at that point.
No, I do have a question, Des, because I was never a huge wrestling fan. I never really got into it, no offense. Was John Cena the 316, or who was that?
Stone Cold Steve Austin was 316.
Stone Cold Steve Austin with the beard.
He was the beer drinker.
Okay, I just couldn't remember who it was, and to be honest, I'm lazy and didn't want to look it up.
It's one of those things where The Rock and Stone Cold were actually the reasons why I ever started watching wrestling back in the day. But at the end of the day, John Cena is the reason why I kept watching. And basically, John for 20 plus years. Exactly. We're trying to get so we can hear us. Oh, there we go. We got you. But Mr. Rogers, please tell your story. Tell your story first, sir.
Gotcha.
So, Hangman, can you hear us just fine? An F? You can't hear us?
What? The audio just went to shit.
My audio is so good, I heard Des fart. Whatever that was.
Oh.
Can you hear us? Or? Hey, Sir, can you hear us?
Again, while they're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Okay.
Penguins don't fly.
I was trying to say, like, the only reason why I don't support John Cena is, if you recall, when he did the last Fast and Furious movie, it was Fast and Furious X, I guess, and he's like the longest range brother.
I watched it after one.
Yeah. So
I watched the second one, part of it, I'm like, no, I'm done.
So he's basically the lost and estranged brother who's working for like an enemy agency, etc. And he has to go, like Vin Diesel has to fight him, and then he comes back in the end and like becomes a part of the crew, right? So now, because of the way that the performance was done and the things that were said, he made a full-on apology in Chinese to the Chinese people.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah, don't say Shinji Mai. No, that's
they have no sentimental structure for that man. And then his entire identity about being in the WWE is about being a military guy, but yet he has no formal military service whatsoever. So it's basically him shitting on people like you, Mr. Rogers, that actually served for this country and trying to take credit for false accolades.
John Cena.
Who did that?
John Cena.
John Cena. I want to say he tried to get in. He probably just got disqualified or some shit.
But again, his whole thing is built up on being a military guy.
I know his first movie was the Marine.
So to me, that's false valor. It's fake valor. Someone like you that has served this country with honor, that's a different story. So it shits on you. So he can make money. He has fame. He has accolade. But then the real men and women such as yourself that actually did everything, what do you guys get for it? A VA benefit check and maybe a checkup at the hospital? The doctor sticks a finger up your ass and says, you're okay? Like, what is that? But he gets to make millions of fucking dollars.
Now you're comparing like a fruit to a tree. I have nothing against actors that did this stuff. There's a lot of actors that actually were military. One of my favorite was, I can't think of his name, and that's a problem of it. The guy who did It's a Wonderful Life. That's John Stewart or something like that. Anyways, this guy was an Air Force, just badass freaking guy. And he acted. And just, he was good people. And there's a lot of good actors that were military. I don't know anything about John Cena. I never looked up it. I can't look at his record. I'm sure somebody has more power than I do. But I'm sure he tried to join. He was disqualified. So found a way to be disqualified. I was saying up for people at least maybe tried. I'm never going to say no. They maybe tried. And never compare me to anyone, please. That's the one thing I ask. Everybody who signed that down line is worth the value or more than me.
You're
to
crazy.
our country and to our people.
What? I missed something. I was peeing. Sorry.
We were talking about John Cena. The fact is, though, you actually went. I always got to remember the camera goes the opposite direction of where I'm going. You actually went to war. You actually saw real crap, and it's the fact is, it's one of those things where we owe you everything, and we appreciate what you did for this great country.
Des, no one owes us anything. We do appreciate the support. We did it because we wanted to. Most of us.
Bullshit. They owe me my paycheck every month.
So much for humble and kind.
The editor's way. I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's part of the contract, man.
And I wasn't talking about the stripper from the club that you guys went to the other week.
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with her?
I don't do strippers, bro.
Big tatas.
Inside joke between Dez and Mr. Rogers there.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the next conversation at hand. Conserve.
This got deep.
Exactly. It's a good time to move on.
Yeah. Segue. Let's go.
Education back to the States. We talked about this a little bit last night. The fact is, Trump signed a thing making it so the federal government doesn't have as much control, which is awesome because that means some of the top people, like the principal, vice principal. I mean, there's like 4 top people that are making big digits. And the fact is, what Trump is signing, it's going to be money going back towards the schooling, the actual education, not towards these schmucks that basically sit on their ass and do nothing. And they just pass it down to the next person, pass it down to the next person. So when it comes down to this whole enchilada, people might be pissed at it. I think it's a glorious thing because, it's time for, I love this segment called Daddy's Home because he's home and he's back, baby, and he's making education better again. Before this whole thing, Minnesota was one of the top rated states for education before Waltz, and didn't take long. We are number 27, I believe it is now. I think it's 27.
I don't know. I just saw the video of the entire city being burned going, say, please visit Minnesota. We have warmth. We have energy. Everything's on fire.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. Looks like a tourist destination to me. Thank you, Walt. So, burn him because somebody was an asshole.
So
And it wasn't the cops. Everybody was in the wrong, and yet, who do you call when you're in trouble?
exactly.
So let's see here. So now,
Education,
according to
so-
U.S. World News report, right? This is the current education standing for the United States, right? So you got Florida number 1, Utah number 2, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Colorado, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Virginia. That's the top 10.
Okay.
Notice, see, now you start getting into New York. So now New York is no longer top 10. I didn't see California being in the top 10, but according to stats, if you guys really want to look at this, for the majority of all spending per public education in the billions, California is the highest with over 10,000 schools.
Yeah.
And they're not even in the top 10, according to U.S. News and Reports. So now we have Iowa at 11, New York, Washington, Nebraska, South Dakota, Illinois, Minnesota. There you go,
really?
Minnesota.
What number are we actually?
17 in Minnesota.
I was off by 10. My bad. I knew there was a 7 in there. That's still 12. And within a couple
18 in
years.
the country, though, for higher education. So that's not too bad.
But we
Which
were
means
number
college.
5 a few years ago.
All right, my apologies. I missed a little bit here.
So New York is number 5 for pre-K and 31 in higher education. Still haven't seen California.
No.
There, but it is the way it is. But we got Florida is number 10 for pre-K and number 1 in higher education, which means all colleges, which I don't see how they're doing that, but power to them for doing it. Let's see, where
They
is
retirement money.
California?
Where's
23 in
Montana?
education,
Hold on, go
37.
back to Montana there.
It's
What was
for-
Montana at?
Montana was at
27
17.
no, Minnesota's at 17. Montana's at 27.
Montana
There it
is at 22, according to what it
Oh,
says.
20.
Ooh, higher education.
number
doing pretty
22.
good.
27
Pre-K,
and
they're
pre-
20. Yeah.
Pre-K to
27
12 and
now,
then
pretty
16
good.
higher
That
education.
sucks.
Oh, okay. So it's an overall rating
all those
based off
kids
their
learn on the
pre-K.
ranch, man. Dude, you should see those kids on the ranch. They're more intelligent than most of these people that I met. It's insane.
Yep. And then if
Like-
you guys want,
But again,
it's-
they're going to have a massive population. Do we have a population of what, 1 million plus in the state?
Like Hangman said here in the
And now you're
comments.
doing ratios.
Like Hangman said here in the comments, he's getting rid of the administration people. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, the higher uppers, the ones that are making so much money, that's a glorious thing.
well, it's a money racket, right? It's you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul, as they say. So Peter is us, we the people, right? And they're using the money from we the people to pay Paul, who is all of them in their pockets, right? So what they've been doing, and you guys can follow along however you wish, but just to give you some insight, another content creator, I think he's great. I watch him almost daily. His platform is called Watching the Watchers. His name is Robert Govea. He's an attorney. He does vlogs on here, and he pulls up all of the docket issues, and he goes through all of the, he goes through the entire docket of what the plaintiffs or the defendants are alleging. And you'll see as he breaks all this down, you find out that there are non-governmental organizations, you have 501c3s and 501c4s, and you have our number one favorite of all time, the Mob 2.0, which is the unions.
Oh,
All 3 of them are now suing, but again, in order to sue, you have to declare damages. So what do you think their damages are?
Oh, they're
You think that it's for the students? You think that it's for the buildings itself? You think that it's for the accommodations? What could be their damages that these organizations are suing for?
salary pay.
Exactly. It's because you're getting rid of the people, the actual asses in the seats at the Department of Education, at the federal level. And now the unions are crying because they're losing money by not collecting union dues. So now they're missing out on multiple millions of dollars. So now the unions want to sue and say, hey, no. Those are our people. You have to reinstate them. You have to put those people back to work. No, we don't, because they didn't have a job. It's all contractually based. So if the jobs are contractually based and the contractual obligations were not fulfilled and then you were just using this as a money extortion scheme, as they've been finding out, and you're not properly doing the job and putting the money where it needed to go, which is to the students, not to the teachers, not to the faculty, not to the organizations, not to the blobs, not to the PACs, back to the parents and the students. That's where the money should have went, and they didn't do it. So based upon the contractual obligations, it all fell apart. So by them going through all of this, you can go to the whitehouse.gov. You can go click in here. Every single executive order that Trump has done, you could read it for yourself. If you want to get the court documents, you can also look at the court documents for who's currently suing the administration and why, which are mostly lefty organizations that are propped up from old regimes and old campaigns. And they have multiple millions of dollars on their back and disposal. But since Trump cut away USAID, they're not getting additional money to continue all of this.
No, wait. May I interrupt just a little bit here regarding the unions before you completely attack the unions? May I allow that? Am I allowed to do that?
Wait, what? What happened?
I'm asking, may I allow to just intervene for a second before you completely attack all the unions?
Yeah, go ahead. By all means.
Okay. So I did work at UPS. You know, they're a unionized thing. They were great for me, especially as a small kid. So, I mean, there are benefits to younger kids with unions that want health benefits and things like that, is what I'm going to say for that. I don't prefer unions, but my friends have worked in unions. I support what... Do you know what originally caused a union? What created a union?
Go for it. Mostly it's the mafia.
So the unions were created to give fair benefits for fair jobs and fight to make sure they had some sort of relief. It's kind of communism in a sense, but they made sure they had jobs they could work. It's a great idea back in the 20s and 30s, kind of what happened. And the thing is, they became too powerful because I remember I built swimming pools and hot tubs commercially. Now, that's a jack of all trades. You got concrete, brickwork, plaster, tiling, plumbing, electrical, everything. We did it all ourselves. We were called scabs. A union only told to do one trade. That's their trade. So the brickworkers are going to plan us. The tiling company, the plumbers. And I'm like, we do it all. We're just scabs. And they did everything in their heartbeat to hurt us. And I'm like 16 years old, high school kid in the summer working. I remember watching my boss take this 1-ton dually, hook this mother effer's plumber union his backhoe, hooked it up, and moved it onto the street in a downtown Minneapolis for an Olympic gym because he tried to block us. But in that sense, the unions came over and apologized to us. They're not all bad. They're just looking for a job. Most of them.
I'm not saying that they're all bad. What I'm saying is, if
the pretension of what they're going for is bad.
It's mob-style tactics or mafia-style tactics without the physical threat. So they can shoot down everybody for money. They have their pension funds and they have their ability to invest the pension funds. So what these organizations have been doing is taking the pension funds, bringing it to hedge funds because it's multiple millions to multiple billions of dollars that they're messing with. And in the ways that they're doing it, they're not reporting the gains the way that it needs to be officially done. So they're making money hand over fist. They're stealing from you, who's the union worker. You barely get your benefits. And sometimes they're going to come out and say, well, we have to cut your benefits because we don't have the amount of money to pay you. Why? Because they tied it up on the back end. So now you guys are the suckers, but you're supporting them because you feel that they have your back. Right. So again,
the union workers that actually suffer, not the bigwigs. They're not out there picketing.
Right, but that's how the Teamsters work. Like, oh no, see, you're gonna pay into me, and then don't worry because I'm gonna give you protection. But because you got protection from me, you don't gotta worry about the other guy. But then you also gotta grease the palm of the other guy because I own the other guy too. So
he's in New Jersey. We're not dumping bodies in the freaking river.
But that's the way these people work. And if you look at it, I'll give you the clearest example that I can, right? Let's look back onto 2024, and then you have the longshoremen, right? These are the guys that sit there, that are the crane operators, that bring in the cargo containers, that doing all that other stuff. They have a union, and if you go back and you look at every single one of the interviews that he did, the guy that was the head of the longshoremen union, and again, these guys get paid the most out of all unions in the country. He sat there and said, I will hold you by the balls and I will basically tie you guys up. You don't think that that we have the power? We will wreck your economy. So he was threatening you and every single American.
You saw what happened with the ports and everything like that. Yeah.
Outrageous benefits
that's
increases.
Kind of my industry is import-export. You saw that. I saw that. I'm like, you saw that. It's not going to end well.
But that's not being
Amazon shutting off down.
Mr. Rogers, that's extortion. That's not being a union. So that is being.
I agree completely. When Amazon workers did that, I'm like, this could be fun.
So with all fairness, I'm not attacking anybody because everybody does deserve to
have
unions.
No, I hear you, man.
For medical workers. But when it comes to what they're doing, they're looking to extort the American people. They're taking PAC money, multiple millions of dollars. Some of these non-for-profits and some of these unions are throwing $9 to $10 million into lawsuits and payments to salaries so they can launch these lawsuits against Trump and the administration. So instead of doing that, why wouldn't they just put that money towards the students and the kids in the first place?
I agree. So and here's a question for you. I've always questioned this myself. Is a military union?
Technically, by its default.
Isn't that scary?
It is. Because you no longer...
The military went on strike.
They own you.
Wouldn't that be different?
Yeah. But I guess that's why Doug Collins is doing what he can inside the VA. Trying to reshape it, reform it, make sure that you guys get what you can.
But wouldn't that be a scary thought?
If the current military went on strike, nobody would notice.
It's true. All the camo.
Yeah. I mean, under Biden's administration, that's.
But no, man, I love what you're saying. I agree 100%. Like, so the only union I was ever technically really a part of was when I worked at UPS when I was going to college, and they helped me out a lot and stuff. I didn't know what the unions. There's union dues that came on my check. I didn't care. I just whatever. I worked there at the meetings. You know, and I think that's most union workers, and that's really, really passionate about it. But you know, a lot of kids are just, just trying to work.
But the unions typically work the best when they apply the old sensibility of what children were and what their children are supposed to do. Children are supposed to be seen but not heard, right? So the union is supposed to be out there representing you. The union shouldn't have to say anything unless the employer is violating your rights as the union worker. Then the union should be coming in with the sledgehammer and cracking them over the head. But that doesn't happen. The union waits for it to get so bad for you to get to the point of quitting or that you have to strike, and then they will bet on you to do the strike so they can support.
They know you can't outlast it because you own the money.
So it doesn't go the full gamut.
They know you can't outlast it. That's why.
Are we still talking about the education thing?
Yeah.
A portion of it, yeah. So like the whole element with the funding and the education, it comes from the fact that they have been getting from the Department of Education all of this money. So let's just say, for the convenience purposes so everybody can understand, let's say it's $10 million. $10 million is supposed to be disseminated to specific organizations to help make sure that those organizations could, let's say, give school supplies to children in impoverished areas, make sure that teachers have more than enough adequate staffing so that the teachers could be represented from the union, and then they could go.
Then go where?
We lost
him. Right to the White House.
We lost him. Bloody hell. I think he was just about to get to someplace on there. It's like, I mean, he even actually had a number that he was using. Bloody hell.
How'd we lose him?
So basically, just to sum up the last, 5 minutes or so.
We did not do anything on our side there, Kaserv. We don't know what happened. There we go. There he is.
Okay.
We didn't block or anything.
We didn't do anything on our side.
I kicked him out.
Oh man.
We started talking about the unions, bro.
Exactly.
Yep.
The internet gods do not like it.
Mention the mafia.
F around and see what happens.
They got your IP address, dude.
We have a total of 42 subscribers. Woohoo!
How do I add my photo of the ammo?
I suppose
Yes,
I
can
should
you do
subscribe
it?
to the channel, huh?
Ouch! Eddie the editor, come
I did subscribe, didn't I? Oh.
And hit that bell, baby.
Hit that bell to make sure you know when we go live. I don't say it, quite frankly. The people on the other side say it. I don't say it. People tell me. Oh,
You
man.
need a good cop chasing the bandit.
Hey, guys, you know what I saw today while we're waiting for him to get his voice back?
Oh boy, what is it, Ralphie?
I saw somebody pull over a sheriff.
Seriously?
I saw a sheriff get pulled over and get a talking to
Really?
from a civilian.
So
I pulled over a cop once when I was in high school, but I want to hear about this.
so I suppose you don't know any more than that, other than him getting pulled over by a civilian. That's
Oh, no, I was just walking. I was behind my house, and I walked around to the front to put some stuff in the garage, and I saw the sheriff's car sitting there, and there was a side-by-side right next to it, and the guy wasn't in the side-by-side. He was standing by the sheriff's window talking to him, and so I just assumed that he pulled him over.
Oh, I actually pulled over a cop when I was in high school
How?
with my truck. I flashed him, honked. the
Pulled him
horn.
over
He
or
ran
run him off
to
the
a
road?
stop line. He ran. We had a 4-way stop. He just blew right through it, and I was just getting ready to make my right, and he blew right through it. I'm like, and I was taking my friend Ashley to get some ice cream. That's the weirdest part of it all. And then I had my lights on, tossed, and like he pulled over. I'm like, and it's our famous cop who never liked me, heaven forbid. And he's like, what's the problem? I'm like, dude, you just blew through that stop sign, and I was going, and you didn't care. No lights on. I'm like, that's pretty messed up. Well, I can pull you over. I'm like, I'm gonna give you a ticket. I'm like, for what? For pulling me over. I'm like, I would love to go to the courthouse right now. Let's go there and let's do that while she gets some ice cream. And literally, he just left. He's like, you do not tell anybody about this. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm putting this out. This guy ended up being our chief of police and got fired because he slept with some chick in the American Legion bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah, way to go, dude.
So
He was
conserved.
not exactly a prize, but he was a hero.
So conserved. You cannot get on here at all anymore, or what the heck's going on?
He's on. He just
I'm right here.
Okay.
For him,
Right,
we
yeah.
went away.
Oh, really?
And for us, he went away.
Yeah. On our side, you went away.
But
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through this. So, like, as I was showing you guys, this is a quick summary of the fact sheet of what I was getting at. That, again, this is outlined. You guys can go, as you can see, it's the whitehouse.gov, President Trump. This is the fact sheet for his executive order based upon the Department of Education. And it says, since its relatively recent inception in 1979, the Department of Education, which does not directly educate students, has spent over $3 trillion without improving student achievement as measured by standardized national assessment.
Damn.
So the federal taxpayers, which is us, spent around $200 billion in additional education funding during the scamdemic, which gave substantial learning loss that resulted in an ineffective model, right? From there, we see that the trends have gone down. So it's outlining how bad we are as a country overall inside education. And then from down here, Biden, under his Department of Education, added rules that imposed nearly $3.9 billion in costs. In addition to.
That's insane.
Right?
No.
So
I
the
have something to say about education. Is that okay if I interrupt? Just real fucking. My
Yeah,
apologies.
go
I'm
ahead.
swearing a lot. Just real quick, 20 seconds. So education, when you're talking about this policy being, taking money away, they're making people dumb is what they're doing. So they can't actually have an idea of what their mind is. They're so brainwashed by electronics and stuff, they can't get a proper education of know what's right or wrong, or what is true, what is fact, what is honest, what is wrong, what is life, what is death. It just sucks. They have no idea.
Can
They
you
live in
scroll
a
back to the
freaking
top?
world.
Conserve. Because there's up at the top, there's one thing that see, okay, yes. So basically, what you're saying is that the people that run these institutions are just crappy and putting money where it doesn't belong.
Yes.
However, that amount of money, like whatever, spend as much money as you want. It doesn't matter. You can spend all the money on anything, and it doesn't mean anything's going to improve. But there's one very, very key word in this headline up here. It says, and communities.
I'd say empowered.
The communities is the key there, because it's not the systems that are broke. The people within the systems do a lot of shitty stuff, yes. But the systems, it doesn't matter what system you put in place. We're going to continue to screw it up, because if you look at all these young kids and you look at what parents push and all that stuff, they'll tell them, oh, you need to get good grades. You need to get good grades. You need to get good grades, right? But the education's not important. What's important is sports and making money and doing this and all the distractions.
This is fine by me. What I'm saying, what's happening before, because I actually had to look it up. It drove me nuts when Des mentioned it. And I look at the spending, no offense to liberals, Democrats, whatever you feel, God, whatever creed. I couldn't believe what happened and what the changes and stuff were from different parties, situations where Democrats just want people to be freaking stupid. Unbelievable. They don't want to have a vernacular. They want to know math. That's why I so Des.
Now he's frozen.
Conserve, you still there?
Doing this empower the communities and improve the education.
I'm here.
I don't care what it costs. I want us to have a better future. The only way we can do that is our kids be smart.
YouTube is trying to censor us.
Intelligence, have some background. Get oil changes back into belief here. Teach a kid doing oil change.
But us kids
got an oil change when she was like 10 years old.
Mr. Rogers, children don't get smarter by the government doing stuff. It takes the communities, the families, the people. Like the most important thing to everybody right now is how much money do I make? How much shit do I have? And how much stuff can I accumulate before I die and can't take it with me? You're like, look at us. Look at yourself. Look at the people around you. We're the fucking idiots, man.
Amen, Eddie. That's why he's the editor. He's getting.
I'm sick of everybody blaming everybody else. It's our own fucking problem, man.
And I wish these kids could be raised in that era. Did you have a cell phone when you were a kid?
No.
I got one when I was 16 because I was lucky. My mom was a regional account manager for AT&T.
You know what I did when I was like 8 years old? I played in the dirt. I had little twigs that looked like sprinklers. I would line them up like it was an irrigation system because I was big in irrigation as a kid. Every so often I would move them in a line like it was a couple hours later. I played with sticks because
education will tell you something fun.
Exactly.
I mean, who now?
It's imagination.
If you give a potato and a light bulb and some strings and stuff, what the hell or even just 2 cups in a string.
It's not the kids, it's the parents.
You think they could do the cup thing where you talk and listen? You guys remember that as kids? Do you think they could figure that out? We learned that in first grade?
But it's true. It's like back in the day, we as kids needed imaginations. Nowadays they have their cell phones from their parents, their tablets, their whatever. And the sad part about it is we're just allowing it to happen. We would rather
brother, with the empowering community stuff. Do you know if they're? I have no idea. Are they still teaching cursive or no?
Conserve.
I know it was going to be like not allowed for a bit.
They took cursive out. They took God out. They took religion out. They changed. They're flip-flopping back and forth between Common Core and non-Common Core. They're changing up creative writing lenses and literature as a whole. It's just tons of crap. So they were focusing more on, as we know, like the DEI and the CRT stuff, like the critical race theory and the diversity, equity, inclusion. And by combining all of these things, the kid.
And now
we shout out there.
We must be getting something right here on YouTube because they're doing this again.
Move
on. All right.
I'm just kind of curious if it's what the curriculum is.
I have no idea. We're just gonna go to
I was doing the military, and if I, when I was a recruiter before I retired, if I could do that, I could find out. But
the fact
I remember the last time I was there, they were not teaching cursive.
So yeah, it's conservatives buffering again. We're gonna go to the main topic for the night. This one was by Mr. Rogers. He didn't want to say it, so I'll say it. Mr. Rogers came up with this idea for. I have 2 points here. Where do you think the world sees America? And I added this part on. 50 years from now, what do you think future generations will think of this generation from 2020 to 2025 when Trump took over office again? I could go back to 2012. When was Obama took office back in 2008? 08 from 08 to now. 08 to now, because with the PC culture, first I'll say my piece and then I'll let it go around for everybody to say, because you know what, this is actually a fun one. But where the world sees America under Biden's and Obama's administrations, which is 12 years of bullshit. They saw us as weak, frail pieces of crap. Obama was the start of it. They wanted to make sure everybody, the PC culture made everybody into a bunch of Sallys, a bunch of pussies. And how dare you say something like gay is a naughty word? Oh, you're offended? Hey, you faggot! Whoa! You don't like that, do you? Hey, I'm gonna call you a silly faggot. At the end of the day, back in the day, that was funny. Nowadays, how dare you? That person could take offense to it. That's the point. Ta-da! I miss the good old days when you could actually offend people and nobody gave a shit. Those are some glory days. The world looks at America right now and they see now that Trump's president again, not as much as what it was, but under the Biden, Obama administrations, we were a laughingstock. Obama was a good speaker. Biden is just a sleepy Joe. But under Biden, we were weak. We were frail. Our military was run by a he-she. And she was very ugly. She was not beautiful. I mean, they at least can make trannies that look, half-assed like women. She did not look like a woman whatsoever. I mean, seriously, what in the bloody hell? And people were supposed to take us seriously, and the he-she was supposed to be in charge of the military. And now we got a guy that's got balls, and he's not afraid to admit it. He's got balls. I just think
you're talking about Rachel Levine, right? The man that decided to become a woman that fathered 2 kids, that was the Secretary of Health under Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania, that decided under the C-19 parameters to take his mother out of a nursing home and put his mother in a hotel while sentencing everyone else to death, the same way that Cuomo did and Whitmer did. Yep. You're talking about that Rachel Levine, right?
I freaking hope so.
Anyway, let me just finish, and then I will let everybody else say their piece, because I've been pretty quiet the whole time here. So now I'm having a little bit of fun. This is supposed to be a comedy show. So under this administration, that was Biden. We had the worst withdrawal with Afghanistan, made us look weak, aka the wars. And the world knew we were weak. And we knew that, let's be honest, that Biden was not running the nation. But now that Daddy's back home, and I do love saying Daddy because that's more, it's so sad. It's silly. Daddy's home. Now that Trump's back, the red button is bigger. And don't make me push it, Russia, Ukraine. Don't make me push it. Zelensky, I'm watching you.
I'm just curious, even with that, Des. You know, Karine Jean-Pierre, as stupid as she was,
Yeah.
and intellectually deceitful as she was, and intellectually dishonest as she was, she's still a woman, right? Because she declared herself a lesbian, right?
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
Are you noticing something with the feet at all? You know, the way a woman stands and the way a dude fucking stands, because they got a freaking berries between their legs. Like, are you noticing that in the picture there
Yeah.
with the legs? So
But they're both ladies. They're both beautiful, powerful women.
There's a reason why they call this man spreading, right? Because men spread their legs, not a woman. Holy shit.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, this went a little dark, but okay.
Well, just what I saw in the
But I
pictures,
agree.
I'd be the meat in that
I agree.
sandwich.
There's a certain way we stand. But that went a little dark on that one.
And I want to just tie up a little bit with the 50 years from now, and then we will pass it around because I want to hear your guys' take on it. I think I covered most of it, but I'm sure there's some other stuff you can add. 50 years from now, when they look back at 2008 to 2025, to the part when Daddy's Back Home 2.0, they're going to say one thing is not like the other. And that's what they're like, all of a sudden there's only two genders. What? Before that, there was infinite amount of genders. How does that work? How the heck do we go from like whatever amount to only two again? What happened? It's called common sense. It's called the man came back home. He's in charge again. Hey, we saw that you're playing with the toys that you should not have been playing with. Now. And now we are back in charge. And in the future from now, when they're going to see this, they're going to be like, damn, Trump actually is a man of his word. And maybe it's a good thing he lost back in 2020 because they will look back at that. They will know that he did not lose the election, but they will say to themselves, son of a buck, maybe it was a good thing that he did during that time because something is not like the other. That's basically all I'm going to say. I know you guys want to add to this. It's one of those things where there's so much to be added to this. Who wants to add on to this?
Oh, bro, can go next.
Which one, Conserve or Eddie?
Who cares?
Eddie, you want to
I'll go last. I'll go last and say my piece.
Okay. Eddie, you want to add anything to this at all?
Where the future humans are gonna, they're gonna think about us?
Yeah.
What's gonna be in the history books?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Come on, this is fun. This is just one of those things that
If I'm we're 50 years.
Eddie, what do you think of where we're at now, and what we'll think about in 50 years?
like what we
What
are
our kids think.
like future
Grandkids. I mean, I won't have any, but whatever.
I honestly like
space shuttle.
there's multiple different perspectives on that for me. Like multiple. There's not like one thing where I could be like, oh, they're probably gonna think we're a bunch of idiots or whatever. I mean, one, it's either gonna be looked back on and they're gonna look back and see us as probably the dumbest generation there ever was. In the history of mankind, or
yeah.
Or there's not gonna be many people, and they're gonna look back and be like, "What the hell did those idiots do?"
True. Yeah, you don't know.
It'll be Noah and his family. It'll be history repeating itself.
Never thought of it that way. That's deep. That's a little deep. Eddie, come on, Eddie. That was a little deep.
Not really.
Going back to
so that's
Or
like
50
that.
years from
You gotta
now,
have a little
Jesus will be
more,
back
man.
and there will be all this amazing stuff on earth. And
Yeah.
they'll look back at us as, I don't know, the ones that brought about the apocalypse, the end of time, or whatever it was.
Supposedly
The
next.
weirdest thing is, since we started this conversation, that's why I just left. My cross just fell down.
Is that what fell?
Yeah, off my wall. It's been there forever.
Oh
It
man!
just dropped as soon as this conversation started.
I heard something fall. I thought you threw something.
Yeah, the crucifix.
Is Jesus on the cross? On your cross,
Yeah.
is there a depiction of Jesus on it?
Yeah.
Is he still there? Did he jump off?
Yeah, he'll figure it out. I put him back up.
Oh man!
But he's still on the cross?
Right now. He's trying to figure out if we should go right or left.
Okay.
He's trying to come down. He's gonna like slap you.
At least he's still there for now.
Oh man, that's
You can't kill Jesus.
So
You
that's
can't kill what's already dead, bro.
right. If the Democrats stay in power and they keep doing what they want to do, that will be our answer in 50 years. The movie Idiocracy will not only be a thing of fiction, it will be a nonfiction. It will be our act of reality. This is the way they want people. They want everybody as stupid as possible. They want everybody subservient to the machines. And there is no intercommunication between anybody whatsoever. And that's
I'm in.
Complete slave
Sounds like
environment.
fun.
Get the damn words out of my mouth, bro. I love it.
So the people that have the power will coalesce the power. And they'll keep the power. And they only want to disseminate the power only for themselves. And they only want to steal from everybody else. That's why when you look back from the education system, to go back for a second, the current education model that we have was based upon the 1940 model, which is creating workers for factories, which is why they do not want critical thinking. They don't want us having our own diligent discussion based upon topics. They don't want us to learn economics. They don't want us to learn how to balance our checkbook. They want us to spend, and they want us to live in this critical infrastructure that they created. So for, again, what's one of the number one holdings of Nancy Pelosi's profile? Visa and MasterCard, right? So early on, when Visa was popping up, she made sure that she was in as one of the first stock profiling members, right? So she gets pieces of money and dividends from everyone else swiping their cards. We don't want to talk about a digital economy. Why? Because we're already in it. We don't want to realize that cash was king, and we give our cash to the bank. The bank just tells us based upon ones and zeros that we have money in the bank, and we go out swiping our plastic willy-nilly, and we give our money to large corporations that we don't see, that don't represent us, that don't give a shit about us, and they give us garbage in return. So they can take money instantaneously, but if we demand our money back, it's 3 to 5 fucking business days. Make it make sense already. We're already living in a form of idiocracy, but we're just calling it democracy instead. That's my rant.
I think idiocracy is nowadays. It is. I agree. I concur. I knew that like 10 years ago.
Everybody falls in line, man.
But it's a smart movie. It's like, smart people who want to have kids, who want to make money, be successful, and just do their thing. My godmother taught me that.
It's not do your thing when you're copying what other people are doing on TV. That's what everybody sees other people and go, I want that for my life, and then they go try to do that stuff.
I'm pretty sure then they saw the wrong TV show of this guy.
I'm too stupid to make up my own mind.
They saw a TV show of me. They're like, yeah, this is why I drink now.
Damn right.
No. So is it 2008?
Yep.
50 years from 2008.
Yeah, it started in 08 because
okay.
that's when
2008. We had the biggest recession we've had in a long time, right? Housing market crash, all that stuff happened, right?
Coming again.
Well, technically worse than the Great Depression, but yes.
It was pretty
Not worse than the Great Depression, dude.
It was close.
Different times. Look,
you want to bet on that?
Doesn't matter. In these times, no crash is going to be as bad as the one during the Great Depression because they didn't have the capability to get around like we do now.
The Great Depression.
Let's put it in context. Monetarily, numbers wise, it was worse.
Okay.
However, the impact on the people was not worse.
There you go.
When was the first car created?
1908.
Correct. So then by 1910, who was buying cars?
people. And then in the 1950s, Chevrolet decided, look, we can create a really good used car market, and we can play to everybody's ego by changing little things on every year we make a new car, right? So 2005 is now different than a 2004. So we can say, hey, you're the richest person in your city. You should have the newest car. Look at this one. We changed some stuff. And then you got a reliable used car market, right? But all they're doing, right? We're idiots. We're dumb monkeys, okay? They tell us stuff and we go, ooh, that'd be cool. I'm going to buy that. Oh, I can't. I got to go work harder. Let me get a second job. Oh, let me get a third job so I can buy this or that. We're idiots. We're idiots. We deserve everything we're getting right now. We deserve to be slaves because we're stupid. And we keep giving them power. You want to stop everything? You want to stop their power? Stop buying shit.
Grow your own food.
I'd like to finish what I was saying. You guys can pause here for a second.
I'm enjoying the show.
And yes, I'm knife handing. All right, 2008, 2050. What do I feel? I felt we had a big recession. You guys were in the gallow loop about that. We'll talk about it. We'll lollygag there. All right, great. Sucked. We somehow basically bailed everything out by taking a ton of loans. I was overseas. I should have bought a house at the time and just said, screw it, because I would have paid for it and never lived there anyways. And pay it off anyways at that time. Come back from overseas. Great. Okay, what's going on? Afghan, Iraq, wars, this, everybody hates each other. Okay, now we have this whole millennial things. People are graduating different degrees of levels now. Now that what happened is they became so freaking stupid that teachers are just so freaking upset. It's like, give us more money or we're going on strike. Because these kids have no morals anymore. They're done. Their ethics are out the window. They became worse and worse and worse as kids. As kids.
Parents' fault.
Not babysitters. They're not there to discipline. They're there to teach these kids, and those kids are there to learn. Like that way I was raised. Now, again, getting back, a little further back, the educational funding. We need small classrooms. Things like that. That would help. Yes. Now, what do I see in 2050? I see a civil war. Maybe 2074. It's a civil war between not north-south, not continents. I see the United States being a civil war between politics. The thing is, it's going to be a bloodbath, and we're going to turn into a tyranny, I think, or dictatorship. Because the people who have the guns are going to win. And liberals, oh my God! It's like holding, like, fucking, I don't know, kryptonite to Superman. We're going to destroy everything. They won't shoot back. We won't have to.
Well, they're going to have spatulas and dildos.
Some massive person in power that's gone too insane with it, where they control everything. In my personal opinion, because I've seen this. I've been in third world countries. We're a very young country. We're still trying to experience new things. We're doing it too freaking fast. We accelerated way too fast for this country. I see ourselves in another civil war. It's going to be political basis. And the people who have the guns are going to win. Do I know if that's going to be good or bad? I don't know. I have guns. I'm usually a pretty good person. But you're going to start throwing knives at me and say I don't eat salad or eat meat. I'm like, well, go eat your lettuce outside. I don't know. I mean, everybody's so difficult to deal with these days. It just seems like nobody accept people these days, man. I can't do this accept. You are who you are. Yeah, we have different varying opinions. Yes, economy is different. We need to agree on that. We got to be successful. I completely agree. Our economy is in the freaking ground right now. But we're trying to find a way to tie threads. But I see a very big war and a very big depression. That's what I see in 2050. One more.
Well, good times. Out effing standing. It's the end of the world as you know it. And I feel
survive. No, that's where I see it. I mean, be honest. Kids are getting dumb. The homeschool kids are smart as hell. They're going to control the world. Homeschool kids got guns.
Well, that's the thing about it is homeschooling nowadays is actually the way to go if you can. If you can homeschool.
Well, look at a family I was associated with. Dad knows who they are. Smartest kids I ever met. The smartest person I ever met, I married. And she was homeschooled.
Yep.
Smartest, and guess what? They all know how to handle a gun.
Pew pew.
I'm sorry. I actually want kids to be homeschooled by parents that can homeschool. I think it's very profitable for those kids. But again, you have to have a right upbringing to do that. One, you have to have the intelligence, math, and just things like that. And I don't know how they do it, especially if Dad knows who I'm talking about with multiple kids.
Yep.
I don't know teach levels, grade levels. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have an idea. So many props and those kids, just intelligent as hell. You put them on the streets, they're screwed.
Oh, by the way, Corn Bob, how are we still live on here? We just keep talking. Oh, man.
Are we actually live still?
Yeah. Oh, no, we're still live. That was still the question.
Hey, you guys need to check the comments, dude.
Yeah.
They're talking about the world being 10,000 years old. But human history goes back. Conserve, you want me to tell you how the world can be 10,000 years old and we have millions of years of human history?
Sure.
Time's an illusion. Time is created just like everything else that we can observe. Everything we see is created.
Well, the continuum of time based upon the observable time is two separate things, but I agree with you based upon observable time.
I brought this up last week. Remember that time slows down.
Or it speeds up, depending on how you are within the finite curve of time and space.
Correct. I brought this up.
Yeah. So you have like even if you look at it from the point of molecular decomposition, right? So you can either
we all get
increase the rate of decay, or you can slow down the rate.
You cannot create nor destroy. I think maybe I'm dumb right now, but
no, that's fine.
Energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Yeah,
well, that's matter.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Matter can be created and destroyed. Energy can't.
You guys
matter doesn't really matter. Matter's only observed when there's an observer.
You can't destroy matter. Matter is only repurposed. Energy can be created or destroyed. So this way, like if you pulled the plug out of the socket right now, you wouldn't have any current. So you can interrupt the flow of current, which would be energy. If you took away all nutrients in your body, would you be producing ATP that would power all of your cells and power your mitochondria and etc.? No, you wouldn't. You would die. If you don't have water as a conduit in order to carry around the electrons and the positrons and everything else that's going through, you wouldn't be able to have combustion engines.
Have you seen the double slit experiment?
Because the actions create energy. So if you disrupt the action, you no longer create energy. But matter will always be there.
Hold on.
So it's the opposite.
Hold on. No, it's not. And I'll explain to you why. Okay. Matter only exists when it's being observed. Look up the double slit experiment.
Okay.
Energy is, and it's all frequencies. Energy comes in vibrational frequencies, right? That's why you have 60 hertz some places, 50 hertz in other countries. So your clocks run differently if you plug them in. It's because of the frequency that the energy is the energetic frequency that's being used, right?
Yeah.
So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Matter is created all the time when it's observed. You can create it, and it, like everything that's behind you. Do you know it's there when you're not, like a computer game, the way it renders your the world that you
Everything
can
is
see, it
energy.
doesn't render things in behind. The only reason we observe matter is because we're observing it. If we're not observing it, if there's nothing to observe it, then the matter doesn't even exist. It collapses back into a wave.
And to go a little further on that with matter, it sounds
Okay,
a little,
so then by
it
your
sounds a little
definition,
weird with
like
matter though.
eyeballs.
Now think, we click,
Eyeballs are a form of
electricity
matter.
is powering all of our stuff. That's from matter. Now, are we using electricity, or where is the electricity going? It's going right back up.
Eyeballs are a
We
form of
use
matter, and
these
you use
batteries,
those to observe, but
but
eyeballs,
it's still
right?
waves
Eyeballs
going
don't
on.
see. Eyeballs filter light. Your brain produces the image. So our look at our body. Like our body is basically like a biological computer that filters out a bunch of stuff. That's what our bodies are.
Computer.
Our bodies are
way better
biological
computer.
computers that filter stuff and run processes and programs. Like you don't have to think about breathing. Your body just does that because it knows what to do. Every single one of the cells in your
Okay.
body is conscious. Every single one knows what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why it's doing it.
So in other words, that knew to put the can up to their mouth and
Mine need a little disciplinary action. Just gonna go down all that.
oh man. Well, this one is actually gone for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I show you.
Hold plug.
Oh man. So you guys want to do your plugins before we close?
Hakuna Matata, Mr. Rogers.
Good serve.
You can just find me all over the internet. Really, I'm on. Coming soon to Clapper, of course, where you guys are hanging out because it's the place to be, and it's an American first platform. Content coming to Rumble, back on Instagram at Conserve Reality Unleashed. You can find me there. Content coming soon, and I just want everybody to understand that you are more than what you think. I want you to all focus up and learn from one another, have peace and harmony in your heart, and know that you are capable of great things, and never let anybody tell you that you're worth less.
That's deep.
May I add some of that? My motto here is be kind, be true, and be honest.
For fuck's sake.
Love that.
Eddie, you want to add anything?
No.
All right. Once again, I am Des Rants on all the platforms. I love it, guys. We appreciate you guys. Until next week, Thursday, 7:30 Central Time. Peace out, and like always, happy holidays. And we'll see you guys next week.